my dear students. So hope you all are doing well after the unit test. So let's come back to the class. So today we are going to learn the remaining lesson of Along with Motion. We have not completed the lesson. So today we are going to deal with how to make a fan toy. For that you require a small plastic bottle. Okay, then you require a cardboard piece, a thread, a bead, it is mutta, the bead, a glue, okay, and the rib of a coconut leaf, that is irkila, the rib of the coconut leaf. So this all are the things we needed to make a fan toy. So first what you have to do is, you have to take the plastic bottle and make holes in the middle and on the top and the bottom, as you can see from the picture. On both sides, top and bottom, and in the middle make the holes. Then with the cardboard piece you make a fan. And you put a bead in the irkili, that is the rib of the coconut leaf. Put a bead and then put gum in that bead and stick the cardboard fan so that it looks like a fan. Then in the middle of the rib of the coconut leaf, you tie with the thread in the middle, as you can see from the picture. So one end will be tied to the rib and the other end will be free. That also you tie it and keep, so that it will not go down. Then you have to put it inside the plastic bottle into the hole. Through the holes you have to put it, so that you can see that they are shaking between the holes. Now what you have to do means, now is the process starting. So we had made a fan toy. Okay. Now we want to rotate this fan. That is our purpose. So for that we have to apply force. So where do we apply this force? You have to pull the thread, free end of the thread. Okay, that is, you can pass this free end of the thread to the hole which we made on the middle. You can see from the picture. Pull it, that is, you apply force through the thread, so that you can see that the rib of the coconut leaf, it starts rotating, and when it rotates, the leaf of the fan also rotates. So we are applying the force at one end and it is getting transferred to the other end. So also such device or such mechanism can be seen in devices like cycle, flour mill, where you used to grind the rice into powder, wheat into powder and all. Then in the sewing machine. In these three cases we use this mechanism. So here in this toy fan, there was a connection between the thread and the rib, so that when we apply the force to the thread, the rib starts to rotate. Similarly, for the cycle, sewing machine and flour mill, there are some connections. In the cycle there are chains. In the sewing machine there is a narrow belt. And in the floor mill, there is a broad belt, very thick belt. So what happens, we can see when you start to cycle. Children, when you start to cycle, you keep your legs on the pedals. You know what is a pedal means? Where you are stamping, where you are keeping your legs. That is called the pedal. And when you apply force to the pedal, then only the cycle starts to move. So what process is going there and what makes the cycle move? That is what we are going to learn. So children, when you apply the force on the pedal, okay, the force is transferred to the gears or the touch wheels. Okay, and how does it get transferred? Through the chains, which is connected to the gear with the pedal and to the back wheel of the cycle. So there is a connection of the chain with the gear, with the pedal and back wheel of the cycle. So we are applying force only at one part of the cycle, and see how it get transferred. It transferred to the gear, okay, it transferred to the gear and then it transferred to the back wheel. As a result, the cycle is moving, and this is transferring is occurring through the chain. Similarly, in the floor mill also, first the motion starts in the motor. It begins in the motor, then it transfers to other part of the machine through the belt. We told that there is a broad belt is there. So through the belt and chains and all, it passes through the other parts of the machine. Similarly, in the sewing machine, what happens in the sewing machine? You know that a sewing machine has a pedal down, right? Yes. And there is big wheel, two sides there are big wheels and a small wheel at the top. And you can see the needle also. Not needle, the thread, where we keep the thread on the top of the machine. Now how does this process takes place? When we stamp or when we apply force on the pedal, the force gets transferred first to the big wheels. Okay? Through a rod. There is a rod there. Through a rod it transferred to the big wheel. So the big wheel starts to rotate. Then when the big wheel starts to rotate, it transfers its force to the small wheels which you can see at the side. Small wheel, and that is through the chain it transfers. And when the small wheel rotates, it also helps to rotate the thread, and which helps in stitching. So when the force is applied at one end of the machine, it is transferred to the other end, and which allows its motion, okay, through chain, axle and belt. So through the chain, axle and belt, the force is transferred from one part of the machine to the another. So hope you understood this concept, children. Next one is the gears or the touch wheels. You know, children, gears are used to increase the speed and change the direction of the motion. So you can see a picture here, children. Two lid. The top of the bottle, that is called the lid. Corrugated lid. That means you can see some parallel lines in the lid and there are some curves and all. So one big lid and one small lid of different size you require. Okay, one big lid and one small lid. then you start to apply the force, and they have to be arranged in such a manner that they should be close to each other, as you can see from the picture. Then try to turn the big lid. When the big lid turns to the right, the small lid will turn to the left, that is in the opposite direction. Similarly, when the small lid turns to the right, the big lid turns to the left. So if one lid turns to one direction, the other lid turns in the opposite direction. But here children, the more turn is taken by the small lid. So that is what I was going to say. The small gears are used to increase the speed of the motion, while the big gears or big wheels, the speed will decrease only. They can't move so fast like the small ones. So if you are asked, okay, to connect a motor with a gear, one big gear is there and one small gear is there, which one you will choose, children? Exactly, the small gear you will choose, because the small gear is the only one which increases the speed so that the motor can work very fast. If you choose the big gear, the speed will be very slow, so the motor will be working very slow. So as a result, the water will be pumping also, it will be very slow. So that is why always it is advisable to use the small gears. This is only used to increase the speed and the direction of the motion. So that is the function of the gears. So this is about this lesson. So in this lesson we have covered about motions, types of motions, linear motion, circular motion, then rotation, then we learned about oscillations and vibrations, and in swing machine we told that there are all kinds of motions. Then we learned about how to make a toy fan and what is the process happening while you cycle a bicycle, how the bicycle is moving forward while cycling, and how the swing machine is working. So this all we gone through it, and we also learned about the gears. So this is all about today's portion. Let us assess, we will discuss during the class discussion time. So children, hope you understood this. So bye children.